comfy cozy up. So we are the first day, so I'm recording this on Sunday, and this is going to be the first day you're seeing this on the first day of NaNoWriMo. So this is just basically prepping what I plan to write. Also journal mood starts on the same day as well, so I'm getting like all my little craft stuff, going through my stash and see what I have and what kind of layout I want to come, because I usually do a reel every day. And I have so much stuff that sometimes I don't realize what I have or remember what I have. So I've been going through all the boxes, and then I bought another box that I'm gonna that I painted, and gonna put some more stuff that I have in that box, and just try to like get a visual of what I have, so this way when I do my spread I can try to be creative different days and use some stuff. And there's some stuff that I really want to use up just to get rid of them, so that's another goal too. I also finished my junk journal, which I'm going to give you guys a look into it. If you follow me on Instagram, you already saw it, like how I made it inside and that kind of stuff. And also I'm about to give you a glimpse of just a brief layout. Now, I have done NaNoWriMo 4 years in a row. This will be year 5, so I basically call it Project 5. Yes, actually I do have a title for the book, but it's not set in stone. You know how titles work, you can always change your mind as time goes. I like doing NaNoWriMo because I'm a person that like deadline. I like deadline, I like time period, I like pressure. I performed under pressure. Like, I hate saying it because then I'm like, I don't like pressure, but actually I do. I tend to perform better when I know I have an end game. There's an end, there's a time frame. I tend to work better. So when I do NaNoWriMo, I always get to the 50K. I've never not get to the 50K. Matter of fact, I've always exceed the 50K. I've only completed one draft, however. No, 2, sorry. So the first year I did NaNoWriMo, I did a short story collection where they're all different characters in each short story, but there's something that they have in common. So it's like a theme for the short story collection, and it is something that I hope to one day publish, because I really love this short story collection. Before I even go into that, I write Caribbean romance, Caribbean love story, Caribbean a bit of historical fiction with family drama that's intertwined in it. So it's not just like the typical romance. It's really have a fusion of literary and romance in it. That's the best way I can put it. So in reality, it will fall under romance, but it's giving you substance. It's giving you stuff, because I try to add the family dynamic and struggles and things that affect a lot of Caribbean people in the romance. And I want to do this because it's not a lot. When it comes to Caribbean romance, there's not a lot out there. There's not a lot that really focus on tradition and culture and things that your parents say. And I do have characters who are outside of the island, who come to America but still hold on to their culture and what they crave from home, and that kind of situation that I try to write in my books. Never been published. They are not they're still fresh. I would call them a 0 draft. I've not sit down to do a proper editing of any of them. I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure out why I have not. What is holding me back, but nevertheless I continue writing. And now I'm going on to the 5th story. Now, the first one I did was a short story collection. The second one I did was probably my most ambitious one, and it was a 3-generation storyline that I am very much love, and it was just the most. I really enjoyed the process of writing this. However, when I started, I had an idea of. When I do a book, I've always thought about how I'm going to start and how I'm going to end it. But the meat part in the middle, I sometimes don't know where I'm going to go. So my outlines never come to what I want it to be. So I stopped doing the outline after the second book. So I started it, and I took a turn that I like, and then now I've struggled to finish that book. And that book, I think I'm at like 68K or something like that, and that book is still not, that's the only book I have not finished a complete draft from. The third book I did, that one was the only book that I actually completed through NaNoWriMo. Love that story. Absolutely love that story. The inspiration on that story is very much something I've experienced. So I did that one. It felt more personal. Like I was like, okay, you know, that kind of deal. Absolutely love that story. That's probably why I ended up finishing it June NaNoWriMo. The fourth book, which was the one from last year, that one is also something that was completely different. The writing style for that one was completely different from all the other ones I've done. I was trying to be creative in this one, and I enjoyed the creativity that I did with this one, but I know I have to edit certain things about it that after I was done, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to revamp that a lot in terms of not necessarily the storyline, but the writing style that I chose. So that one I didn't finish until like, I think what, 2 months ago that I did finish. I did get to the 50K on NaNoWriMo, of course I did with all of them, but I didn't finish I had 2 chapters left and I didn't finish it until like I said, 2 months ago. Now this project that I'm going to do now, I thought about this because this is a story that I intended on starting writing it earlier this year, because it came to me and I was just like sitting down at work on my break, and I remember just like sitting down and just writing down some stuff, and I wanted to just jump right in it. Again, the motivation wasn't there. I don't know why. I like pressure but I do that to myself, and I remember just thinking that, okay, this is going to be a good one. So I'm kind of glad I saved it, because that was the only one I have on my mind to write. Sorry about that. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. So let me just give you the rundown of, so I just went on the NaNoWriMo website, and unfortunately NaNoWriMo only save your first story and your last project. So I noticed in here it doesn't have 2019 or 2020. It only had the first NaNoWriMo, which I did was 2018, and it has the last one I did, which was last year, 2021. So it is what it is. So I created the project for the recent one, so I could give you like a little glimpse of what it has on there. So that is the NaNoWriMo site, and of course I'm on there as PD. If you guys are doing NaNoWriMo, you want to buddy with me for some reason. No one, I think I've only had one person that's ever buddy with me, but then again I don't really advertise, so I guess maybe not. But yeah, I have project 5, that's what I'm gonna call it, even though I do have a name. And I put in the 50K, and the start time will be November 1st. So that's going to be the 30-day start. And that's pretty much all I do when I go in. And it gives you like word count for the last 2 projects combined. It doesn't give me the entire 4 years that I have on here, which kind of sucked because I can't remember. I would have to look at previous videos, because I did record all of them to see what the actual exact amount was for the writing stuff. But it doesn't give you that on here. It just gives you the first project you ever did and the last. So that is it for that. Alright, so I have that done. And then I also did my, what did I use? I used Scrivener. And I started using it, I believe, 2020. So sorry guys, this camera got dark again. So I started using it 2020, and it's still, where am I? So let me get to the open the new project. So I have about 11 chapters, 11 I think. So this is pretty much what it looked like when you come in there. So let me just give you like a visual of it. So this is what it looks like, and this is the stuff on the side, the chapters. They just give you like a little information, but when you hit the chapter, it's blank, so I have nothing there yet. So that's what I use for my writing, and I love this. I love the format for it. I think it's nice, especially after you finish writing and you, of course, compile it to Word document. It just lays out real nice, and then when you print it out, it just comes out real nice. So I like it. I've been using it. It works for me. It's nice on the word count, so you can tell like each chapter word count. It gives you the goal, like if you could put in a goal of how much word, which I did not put a goal in, and you know, percentage of where you at. So like target project, I'm gonna put the 50K in, and so that's in. So I have a target. So that's, you can do all of that. There's so much stuff in here you can do that I have not really played around with, because it has different format of a novel that you want to do. So again, sorry about the light. I don't know why I'm using natural light, so the lights are gonna go in and out. So I like this, and I'm gonna continue using it. You know, when if it's not broke, don't fix it. That kind of deal. And again, I purchased this, like I said, I think in 2020, sorry. Either 2020 or 2019. I cannot remember how long I've been using this. So I enjoy using it, so I'm going to continue doing that. Now, as far as my notebooks, I'm going to put up my tripod so I can show you what it is. It's basic. I didn't put anything in there because I plan on doing that today. I have it written down on a piece of paper somewhere, but I figured since I'm going to show you guys that I was going to just not write anything. My notes are never neat. Absolutely never neat. They're literally, I jot down as I go. I jot down as I'm out. Sometimes I put on my phone. I will be out and something will pop in my head of a situation that I want to put in the story, and I will put it in my phone real quick. I have a notebook app in my phone, and then sometimes as soon as I come home, I jot it into my notebook. Sometimes I do in NaNoWriMo. This notebook is with me. So this notebook is Endless. It's a Tony Rimmer. Tommy. I can't even speak today. I put it down here. I can't even. Tommy River paper, same paper as the Hobonichi paper. So it can handle anything, and I highlight sometimes in here. I use my fountain pen, all that, because the paper quality is the same quality as that. This is, if you're looking for a notebook that you want to do a lot of things in, and you don't want to spend the kind of money that a notebook from Hobonichi would cost, get this. I have a link that you can check it out. Again, Tommy River paper, same paper. It's just so much affordable. And I have the one that is lined, but they do have dotted grid, and they do have the other grid like you would get at Hobonichi. But that one, it's a little brighter, so I'm not a huge fan, but I do like this one. So just give you a rundown. Again, it's not neat. I don't care about stuff like that. But I am going to give you guys a glimpse of, yeah. So I just put NaNoWriMo 2022 project 5, and that's it. Very simple. And then over here is where I put this this spreadsheet. I didn't do that. This is my first time doing a spreadsheet, because I used to just jot down in different areas my word count for the day. It was always not neat. And now I figure I can just have a much more organized situation where this would be so much neater to put in the daily count and my total. And then of course the goal is to get to the 50K and all that. I am like, yes, I'm going to continue doing this, because this was a great idea. I don't know where the hell I came up with this. I just was sitting down. I know why I came up. This will be up already on my shorts. I made this bookmark, and I thought about what was going to put on the other side, and I initially was going to just have a blank paper and just write down, and I said, oh, it's going to look better if I just have like a chart. And I just decided to create the chart in the back, and I think this was just like, I'm so happy I did this. And not only that, I can always cover it up after if I want to keep using it every year or every time I do any kind of project. This is, you know, it's a sticky paper, can always come off, and I could just put a new one on it. But I'm going to keep this, and I'm probably going to not, I know me, I'll probably keep it and just make another one. But this was good. And also this, I got this from for my birthday from what is this, one of the things that came in that package from the lovely you know, journaling buddy, and she sent this, and she sent about 3 of these, so I'm gonna make more with them. But anyway, you can watch that video on my shorts to see how I made it, everything. So I have this, and this is going to be my we call it, I'm gonna use for my daily to track. So over here, I only just put location and time that I'm going to keep in this box. I don't anticipate doing too many different movements in this. Now, like when I did my short story collection, there was a lot of movement. When I did my the 3 Generation Saga one, there was a lot of movement in the island. So I needed to keep a track on each chapter as far as where we went. That the timeline, I messed up on the second story that I've ever written. The timeline was completely bad, and I just knew when I went back I would have to fix it. And I learned my lesson, because the one that I wrote last year had timeline attached to it because there was a major event that happened. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, never again. So I wrote down each timeline, what year we were talking about here. This way, when I do anything that goes back in time, that I can make sure that I didn't mess up the cross path between that. So I did a little page to put like time, location, and timeline. Now the characters, now that's a given, of course, and that made it important in the same book that I messed up in the timeline. There was tons of character in that book, tons, because it was a 3 generation story. So there were different characters that each of them cross paths, different relationship that they had. So I had to make sure I wrote down these names and the connection that each character had with names. And then because this is a Caribbean story, I have a thing where I want to make sure that I use a lot of Caribbean name, a lot of names that when you hear it you just think of a Caribbean person. So I always want to make sure I'm not repeating names, because I've did that in one. This is one particular name that I don't know why, but I love the name, and I think I've used it twice into the story. And I have to keep trying to use other names, other things that I can add, family names that you guys know I'm Jamaican, so I have family member names that I've used. But I try to keep up with more of a Caribbean traditional names in some of my stories, so I like doing that. But this is just basic. And then over here I have all these diagrams where in this you have there's stuff I'm going to put in here and in here, and then I write particular notes in here. Very basic. I like these kind of diagrams and drawings in my notebook, because there might be little things that I want to add later on that maybe I didn't add, and I will jot it down in the side. And that's pretty much where I'm at now, what I can show you. I also didn't realize that I had these. I bought these from Michael so long ago, and they came out so useful. So I'm so glad I kept these stamps. But yeah, these stamps are going to be my friend. I love them. And what I loved about these stamps, another thing I noticed, they're high off the wood. So I don't have to worry about it getting all over the sides. I literally was just able to do that, and it came out. Look, this is a dog one, but look at the cat one. It came out perfect. I am like, yeah, I would definitely buy more of these, and they were on sale at the time. So so when I see them, I'm going to pick them up. They're literally I want to say I paid like maybe $2 for this. But yeah, I love it, and this is basically what it is for right now. But this is what I have for this. All right, let's get into the. So that's gonna end what I'm gonna do as far as NaNoWriMo. So the setup is gonna be the same. If you've seen any of my previous videos, I actually have a playlist where every day I highlight and I give you how many word counts I did for the day, any struggles I've had, what may come up during my NaNoWriMo that might mess up me for the day. Election is always during my NaNoWriMo because election day is November, so I've always had to deal with that. Bad weather, Thanksgiving always happen during NaNoWriMo, and how does that affect the writing? And sometimes I finish a book, to finish the 50K early. I still continue to write until the end. I've had a NaNoWriMo year where I had to take a day or two off for whatever reason. Sometimes you need that. You need to just stop, refresh, kind of took a day off to kind of get back you know, just to get back into writing, where if you get stuck on a chapter, you don't know how to get pushed through it. Sometimes you might need a day or two just to like step away and then come back and just keep going. And there's some days where I far exceed my writing. I don't know how I got so many words put in, but I think the most I've ever done like 5K in a day. And I remember just that day was just completely I was just inspired to write. Up until 2020, 2018, 2019, all my stories were predominantly written in, they were predominantly done at a coffee shop. And when the pandemic happened, it affected that greatly. I just felt I hated having to write only at home. I always look forward to the weekends, because the weekends I knew I was going to be at a coffee shop. I was going to be somewhere. When I had Thanksgiving, I typically have the entire week for Thanksgiving. I think this year I have about 5 or 6 days off. And I love it. I would spend all day at a coffee shop. And you get inspired when you're at a coffee shop. You just, people looking. Sometimes you will look up, people walking in. You might see somebody who walks in and they're wearing something. That might be a nice description to put on a character who, you know, come into some kind of environment, and that person would spark your interest. I've had a case before where I remember, this was 2019, I was writing, and this one guy, I just kept staring at him, not staring at him, but staring at him because of how he was dressed. He was there for an office meeting, and I remember just staring at him because he became like a muse to me when I was talking about a certain character, or when I was introducing a character. I don't remember what was happening at the time. I think my character was at a function, a social gathering for something, and I remember just using him as a muse on writing, and he came over and asking me, what am I writing? And I remember just feeling flustered, because I'm like, damn, was I staring that much? But apparently I was. And I remember he eventually said something to me. I don't remember exactly what he said, because I think I did do a blog post on it. I think I talked about it in a blog post, but he said something to me, and I remember I didn't know how to respond, because he was clearly flirting with me, but I didn't know how to respond because I was in a zone, and he was just like an inspiration for my writing. But things like this happen in coffee shop. It's just a wonderful place to write. And then pandemic happened, and it was just that was taken away from me. I was able to go back this year for the first time. I found one. Well, it was the same one, but it's a new owner, and they changed it up. It had the pink decoration inside. I think I did a small little TikTok video on it. And I'm probably going to use that a few days in the middle of the day when I'm off, and see if I can get the inspiration to write in there. Also, I like to hear music when I write, so I do have a playlist. I use mostly if I'm out and about. Most of the restaurants, the coffee shop, they tend to play a lot of jazz or older music, so I like that. But if I'm home, I will put in some very old school reggae music. We're talking Gregory Isaac, Freddie McGregor, Barris Hammond. I'm playing those kind of, especially the 80s and the 90s kind of reggae music. Those are like my kind of music to listen to when I'm writing. If not, I will have some jazz on, some Miles Davis in the background, that kind of thing, some Charlie Parker, that kind of thing is playing in the background, because I don't need complete silence. I want to hear music when I'm writing. So that is my kind of writing. Some people like dead silence, not me. So again, that is like my NaNoWriMo mood and how I write, that kind of thing. So let me turn back and I'm gonna show you my junk journal and my inspiration for it. So yeah. Okay, so for my junk journal, I wanted a gothic theme, and of course this is the bookmark I was telling you about, and it fits right in this. So I used my lace. I had this lace for so long, guys, so long. So I use this lace as a pocket, so I'm able to fit whatever I want for right now. I put this bookmark in there, and then I have these book edges that I added, and also have another fold in the back, and these bookmark edges. I also sew the edges on my sewing machine, and I put a eyelet in so that it will have this as a closing. And I use this vintage paper that I have because it looks like an old what you would say wallpaper kind of deal, and it was just perfect for that gothic dark theme that I was trying to go with. But I didn't want to go too dark. I still wanted to look feminine, a feminine side to it, even though it's a gothic theme. And I have all of these tags that you can write on, so I can write with my white pen, or and the back I could just write on a regular, and then this could be like some notes, and I have pockets here. This I'm going to put a quote. I'm thinking of putting a quote, either a quote or a poem. So I'm thinking if it's a quote, I'm gonna do like a quote from like again maybe from James Baldwin, or I can do a Claude McKay poem or a Langston Hughes poem. Not sure, you know, but you got my photographer guy here, Gordon Parks. So I wanted to write it here, but I'm gonna write it again in these white pen, and I think it's just gonna be lovely, but I haven't decided on the quote yet. So here I have a blank. Now this is going to be a writing journal, so I have a lot of blank pages because I want to be able to decorate when the mood hits me. And so I have one here, and then here I have another pocket that's from lace, and I love it. So I also have this wonderful folder that I found, and I made this tag. I put an eyelid and all that, and then of course in the back you have room to write. So it goes back in here. Here again, just some photos. Again, this would be perfect for white. This is going to be a white ink kind of journal that I'm going to love. Some paper here where you can just write on the back. Again, here you can write a lot of writing room. And this one, you can pull it out. You can write on here, and you can fold it back in. Here as well, little notes you can put, but you could also write in white ink. So I have this page. I have this. We have this going on here. Again, this is going to be another white ink situation. And here's some pockets, and I put some of these decoration that I actually use whenever, because these are a lot of vintage kind of paper going on here. We have another blank. I think this is going to be so great to write on this with white ink. Oh, I thought about that. This one have a lot going on, but this one I will actually cover it when I ready to write. Not all the way cover, but something like in the middle when I decorate it, and I can write on it, or I can just stick something on it that you can remove so that you can still preserve the picture that's on there. Here is another one. I've used this picture so many times in my journal. I absolutely love it. And so I was just like, yeah, I'm going to continue using this page. This is not black and white. I made it black and white, but it's really not black and white. But then you have, of course, the back of it. So you can write here. You can also write in the back of this and just stick it in there. I love this coffee paper. I sprayed it with actually tea, not coffee, but yeah, I sprayed it and that's how I was able to get that. There's another pocket here, lace pocket, that is just gonna be great in the back. And I have another tag, and you can write in the back of this tag. And this stuck it right back in. I have this page again, white ink. It's gonna be lovely. Again, the same thing on this page. Then we have this page again with the marble look. And then inside, this is the center of the book. So I have this right here that you can write in the back of it and on top. And again, you can put stuff in there. So this is probably going to be more of a storage situation, not so much for writing. Again, marble. And we have the black and white. This one is very plain, but there's so much I can do when I'm ready to decorate it. And you have this side here, coffee paper, tea paper again. Here we have a pocket, so we can stuff some stuff in. Again, this is the back of that page, and this I'll probably literally write on there. So I love that. And then we have this notebook that I put on here, so you could just write on the note paper. You have this side, and then another pocket here. And then we have some more lace pocket page, but there's still room to write. Again, here will be some white ink paper, ink pen. Same thing here. It's another pocket. This I really love. So this is a fold out, so I can write in here and fold it back. I can still write on here if I want. It's going to write in the back as well. You have all this room here to write. This I'll probably decorate with something. And then we have here. We have here. And the back of here. And we have here. We have this. This. And this. I love this. This is huge, but there's so much you can do on here. But the back is where I will put the notes. I will write all over the back of this. That would be my goal. And then put it right back in this. And then of course there's another pocket area. And that is it, guys. I love this journal, and it's gonna get used to NaNoWriMo for different things. I have an idea what I want to do with it. So that is it as far as this journal goes. And again, check out my reel so you can see how I made the bookmark. And I'm probably going to be doing more art and craft just to keep my brain going. Another thing that I didn't talk about is when I do NaNoWriMo, I also have timing. I do time myself because I want to allow myself to do other things, because I do read during NaNoWriMo. I try not to read any romance, anything that has to do with what I'm writing about. I will read a completely different genre, or books that's not necessarily surrounding romance. I try to, I mean, if I do read a romance, it is completely nothing like what I'm writing. This way my mind can get a rest from that genre I'm writing about. So I have some thriller, I have some classics that I want to read, but I'm going to be reading much more shorter books, so I can squeeze in at least 4 or 5. Well, last year I think I did 6, but I typically read about 4 novel during a NaNoWriMo, but they're short books. I try to find books that are not long at all, so I can still get some book counts in the middle of it. So that's why there's still a video on that. And I have to do that because, like, I write a lot in each day, but I try to time myself. I will go read for an hour. I will work on a project for an hour. Like, I do have sewing projects. I do have, because I want to see if I can make one holiday dress before Thanksgiving, the goal. But I have other things that I can do that keep my mind relaxed and not so much focused on writing. So yeah, so I hope this video helps you or give you an idea of crazy people like me that do NaNoWriMo every year for whatever reason. But I love writing, and I love the process. I love that I'm still learning, I'm still growing. I notice every year the story gets, my writing style improve because I learn certain things about the process of writing that you just don't know until you start doing it. Even though I'm an avid reader, it's the difference between reading the book and actually be the person to actually tell a story and certain things, because the rules change and people tell you you shouldn't write this way or you shouldn't write that way. And I try to watch documentaries and interviews of different authors and their method, and they're so different. Everybody's method is not the same, and what works for one author don't necessarily works for another. So there's all of that you have to put in consideration. But eventually I will be a published author, but I am not in a rush. And I feel like after, some of the greats that didn't start writing until they were up in their 40s and stuff. So, age is not a thing as long as the story is good. So I still feel like I have time, and one day it will happen. And for right now, I'm just going to keep writing and keep stacking them up back here in this corner. And one day I will take the next step of doing another draft for each. Well, one of them I think I did do another. I did start a second draft for, and keep doing it until the stories get better. Especially my short story collection. I would be more proud if that got published, because I really love the short story collection. So eventually I will commit to redoing doing another draft of those, and get it until it's where I want to be, and get other people involved. Maybe have some beta readers at some point. Don't have any right now. Few people have read it, but it's a difference than when strangers read it. So anyway, I'm gonna end this video here, and I will see you next Tuesday for NaNoWriMo, the first week. And then just know Saturdays, if you are a regular watcher, you will see my regular reading vlogs for just reading vlog. But NaNoWriMo is going to be on Tuesdays. So I'll see you in the next one, guys, and thanks for watching. Bye.